In a sport filled with spectacular dunks, alley-oops, behind-the-back passes, and so many more extravagant plays, the three-point shot is a fan favorite. Whether you like it or not, it's completely changed the game of basketball. It's revolutionized comebacks, added space to basically any offense, and simply gave the small guy a place in the game of basketball. The three-point shot seems inherent to basketball, but there was a time when our parents and grandparents watched basketball without a three-point line, the so-called purest form of basketball. Today, the three-pointer is a staple of the game, and plenty of fans would say it's the best part of basketball. Teams are built on the idea of the three-point shot and its value. Take away the three-point arc, and what happens to basketball? This is What If the Three-Point Line Was Never Invented? First, we need to look at the inception of the three-point shot and how it's changed basketball. The three-point line has gone through numerous stages, from a short stint in the ABL and ABA in the early 60s, and then finally being introduced to the NBA in 1979, followed by college in 1986, and then high school a year later. The three-point shot took a while to find its footing though, as it was seen more like a gimmick by players and even fans. Something you would see at a Globetrotters game, a circus shot of sorts. But after time passed, teams began to embrace the three-point shot, revolutionizing basketball forever, jumping from 23 point attempts per game in 2012 all the way to 34 three-point attempts in this current season. It's the most important shot in basketball. The three-pointer is integral to the game today and its culture. Take it away and it changes everything. At first glance, the removal of the invention of the three-point line seems like it would be a simple answer, but it's not. Sure, there are simple answers to the question like, big men would have all the glory, and we could be sending anyone over 7 feet straight to the Hall of Fame. There'd be no offense like the current Rockets team. If you're under 6'5", good luck at contributing much of anything to the game. Most likely, no Warriors blew a 3-1 lead chance. You could go on and on. But the three-point line does one thing that stands above the rest of its changes. It gives the little guy a chance. The three-point line evens the playing field. Before and for a while after the three-point line was introduced, big men dominated basketball, and to some extent still do. But more now than ever, smaller players dominate the league too. Steph Curry, Derrick Rose, and Russell Westbrook are all players with MVPs standing below 6'3" in the past 10 years. Take away the three-point line and they most likely lose their MVPs. But more importantly, those MVPs are replaced with much taller players which are harder for fans to relate to. The importance of relatable players seems silly at first, but it's important to the success of the league just like in TV shows and movies. Take for instance Breaking Bad, one of the most popular dramas in recent years. The viewer follows Walter White, a high school chemistry teacher who is diagnosed with cancer, who then turns to the production and selling of meth to provide for his family, while eventually getting involved in the drug cartel and falling down a very slippery slope. Not all of Walter White is relatable, but the core piece of Walter's goal to provide for his family resonates with viewers. It provides a character for the viewers to root for of sorts because of his relatability. Take away his core relatability factor, and Breaking Bad loses any hope of finding interested fans. Take away the invention of the three-point line, and you lose small players that matter to the game of basketball. That's where the issue lies. The removal of the three-point line removes the small guy, the ones fans relate to. No three-point line means big men dominate the league. All the big plays would be monster dunks, things average people can't do, giving generations no one to look up to unless you're tall. Fans relate to players like Steph Curry because of his height and the belief that they too can hit a three from deep. Sure, he's a little taller than the average American, but he's not a whole foot taller like Postman. Stripping away the invention of the three-point line strips away the one reason some fans relate to basketball, the small guy. The question of, what if the three-point line was never invented, doesn't just ask what happens to basketball on the court, but what happens to basketball outside the court too. It takes away basketball's relatability, the sense of, hey, I can do that too. Fans like having players they relate to like Steph Curry. Joel Embiid, Paul George, or LeBron James are fan favorites, but most people can't relate to their overwhelming stature. The three-point line in its essence gives basketball a more relatable image because of what it does for small players. If the three-point line is never invented, there's most likely no Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving, Damian Lillard, and many more shorter stars that make up the league. It changes the trajectory of basketball forever, possibly dampening the popularity of the sport in our culture, or even the existence of basketball itself.